Necrosis. I should tell you about it. Maybe you know it already. The rise of numbers of suicides, the homicides, the murders, the crazy people. And then those shambling things that come afterwards. I was there when we discovered the spores that started this whole mess. In the 1980s, an independent group of scientists, including myself, embarked on an expedition to Africa to search for a notorious, maddening substance only known to locals as waanzin. Apparently, this substance was spread throughout beautiful blomme flowers, which were found around the area. When inhaled, the waanzin spores caused madness and or dementia to the natives. The effects vary, though most of the time they turn mad and seek desire to murder others. I saw them stab themselves with spears and sticks and such, bashing foreheads as they went. They inflicted wounds onto themselves. Some injuries were enough to kill them, naturally, but they still kept on moving. We studied a victim in the lab of West Kiyuyu, sealing him in a plate glass sealed room with one-way mirrors. We left him adequate food and water and sealed him inside. From what we learned of the necrosis, that what happened to his skin. First, the skin peels, in this case. The native turned his otherwise dark skin into dry, cracky grey. Blotches start to form, then sores. Through weeks of isolation, we saw the skin turn into a grey cracked husk, into greenish shore, blabbering on in Afrikaans. Days later, the man self-terminated. He was being prepared for a burial. We noticed that his corpse was twitching rapidly. It was too strange to be called necrosis twitching. It was as if the corpse still wanted to move. After a rapid succession of twitching, the corpse simply hung limp. We attempted another experiment. Apparently, that led me to the second discovery. The spores induce mutations in the body of tissue damaged with surf. Apparently, the spores inducted cellular reproduction within the bloodstream, creating cell after cell after cell. We knew something was wrong. A heavily wounded man exhibiting the symptoms of the blomme spores started to grow an inhuman amount of muscle and tissue around the injured parts of his body. We sedated him and placed him in the isolation room to study. The results were astonishing. The waanzin spores regenerated parts of the wounded man's body with a red mass and gave a red pigmented on the person's skin. The infected showed signs of an intense wendigo psychosis, a desire to feed on human flesh. As the days passed by, I started to get weary and tired. I was also frightened. The other scientists were getting wary too. When the screaming started, we were onto our knees. The man screamed his ears out. The screaming went on for days, until we woke up. He had nothing, and saw a bullet hole in his chest. The reddish man lay there. I asked Peters, our hunter, if he had done the euthanasia. No, he said. Angel grabbed my gun when I was sleeping. We saw Angel, the researcher, curled in a fetal position in the corner of the lab, gun in hand. She was sobbing and whispering. When we exclaimed her from the cuts and bruises, we saw a bite mark embedded on her arm. "It bit me. It bit me. I can't believe it bit me," she whispered. "I wanted to take a blood sample from him, and it bit me. So I shot him. I shot him through the chest. That sick bastard. That sick bastard!" We had taken every precaution not to get infected with the Waanzin agent, to get the point of sterilization. Angel was obviously harboring the stage 1 symptoms of the Waanzin complex. As we came closer to restrain her, we knew of our intent, and simply shot her in the chest. Not in the forehead, where the brain will forever slumber, but the chest. After the incident, we decided to get the hell out of there. We gave them proper burials and left Africa. Due to my colleague's Native American ancestry, we decided to name the condition as the Wendigo complex. But the thing was, the case was far, far from over. There was a final symptom discovered, and out of the 4, this was the worst. The necrotic twitching I spoke of before, it got worse. A Waanzin, afflicted man was witnessing killing himself as the coroner prepared his tools for the autopsy. He found a man shambling towards the door, ribcage exposed. The man, grey-skinned and pupilless, let out a long moan before falling to the floor. Viscera spread all around. We were frightened with the news of the reanimated corpse, frightened beyond comparison, to say the least. But, I suppose, it was already too late for us. Spreading the agent would only happen one way, through inhalation of the spores. But, with the outbreaks of Ebola near Blomme, infested areas, the spores adopted, assimilated the characteristics of the virus, turning into a deadly Igel weapon. The agent could now spread throughout the blood. As such, occurrences of the infected were spreading. But the virus didn't spread enough to gain people's attention until 2 months later. Bizarre murders occurred around the region. People were apparently eating. Sightings revealed of groups of people eating other groups of people. It was mad. Insane. To a few who knew about the Wendigo complex, this was a depressing thought. Through the months until the revelation of the massive Wendigo outbreak, I've lost almost all my colleagues. They died by their own hands, guilty of the monsters they had become. The first official sightings of the now named Wendigo Man were in the small Floridan island, Casey Key. But by that time, the virus was already spreading across Americas, Europe, Asia, Africa, through birds and alike. Innocent people around the world became insane. The Wendigo Man didn't stay for long. They were slow, shambling relatives took their place. We, the remaining scientists who first discovered the Wendigo virus, hesitate to call them what they really were. Just like the movies, the virus was smart. The whole purpose of the symptoms was to turn the people into those freaks. Apparently, the virus not only causes necrosis, but causes already dead tissue to reanimate. The Blomme Waanzin spores were acting as some kind of reanimating agent. It was terrifying to think that almost everyone in the world was shambling stupidly, carving for the flesh of the living. But the virus was airborne, and the majority of the population had turned into the Wendigo Man. I don't know why I survived. The surviving group of the scientists, I included, were escorted to the convoy of the President of the United States, towards the underground bunker in the skies of a farming ranch. We huddled there, waiting for a miracle. I still remember the courageous, ambitious look on the President's face a decade ago. He was unfazed from all the horrors that happened around him. The soldiers looked up at him as a true leader of this band of American that were. He's dead now. Every year his strength waned. The moans of the living dead echoed through every night we spent under the concrete bunker. One half-baked soldier placed a microphone towards the horde of the undead. The moans echoed through the military bunker. Every year, there seemed to be that one person that flips out, and their numbers were suddenly decreasing. Gradually, the beast got in. The president, tired and weary, embraced the freaks with open arms. I killed him myself. He got a chunk of my flesh while I killed him, though. Shit. I just coughed. Well, the necrovirus just spread throughout my lungs, I suppose. I wonder why I'm not going crazy. Just remember, when one gets infected, he is not the same person as before. The person is dead. This is not his body. Shoot him in the head. Be careful with water, too. Drink bottled shit. The virus is waterborne in some parts of America. What else? Necrosis. The necrovirus usually causes necrosis. I said that before. Just watch out for patches of skin that seem old. Dry skin. Itchy skin. If you read this... If you read this... I cannot tell how common these words are. I don't know. I'm afraid to say the other lines. I can't speak of them. It's too horrible. I can't. I just can't. What I'm going to become is 10 times worse than anything ever imagined in this world. I could feed it, eating away my body now. I'm dying, and I can't whimper. All my strength has gone to locking myself up. It's all for you. I stocked the closet at the back with supplies. A week worth of food. My remaining boxes of shotgun shells, pistol clips, ammo, and 10 days worth of gas. Drive as far as Mexico, whoever you are, because they're going to spread, and then go to Antarctica. As for me, I don't know. Still, I'm dead. Deader than dead. Oh, pistol, you were always there for me. Its muzzle was cracked with blood. I tried to shoot myself in the head just a few hours ago, but I decided not to. I shot one of those things in the face first, and when I pushed the muzzle against my temple, it was still so hot that I branched my skin of my forehead with a penny-shaped hole. I winced a bit of pain, though I thought of you, and I guess my pain didn't matter anymore. What mattered was the pain I'm going to cause to you. I don't know how you... There goes my ulva. Look at that thing. Throbbing at last. It doesn't even hurt a bit, even though blood just wells inside my mouth. I just need a little water or something. It will wash off. I'm so itchy. Damn it. My right arm is all dry and patchy at parts. Wait. I have to scratch. There. Itchy gone. I mean, the itch is gone. Maybe I'll just sit here and wait for it to get me. I can't pull the trigger. I want to die, but I can't. People. Upstairs. Not that. I see. Scratch. I scratch. Itchy. Not gone. Tasty. People. Tasty. Might as well go there and eat them. I eat and eat and eat and eat that dog thing I eat. Tasty.